What's going on with your boy Ric Flair, man? We got to talk about this. Ric Flair says that Hulk Hogan was killed by quote-unquote street drugs. It's not highly unlikely, but I don't know if he has any evidence for this, but we're going to play the audio from a podcast. He was on the Double Coverage podcast. We're going to play the audio, and then we're going to read the tweet that came afterwards when he got a lot of heat for saying this. But let's get into it.
I talked to him the day before he died. I shouldn't say this, but what killed him was street drugs. When the doctor wouldn't prescribe anymore, he was in so much pain. Then he had that neck surgery, and it got infected. So back in the hospital, mentioned 10 back surgeries, 2 knees, 2 hips, all this, and then when the doctor would not prescribe anymore pain medicine, they just couldn't do it all due conscience, right?
Yeah.
So they went and got their drugs off the street. His body just said, you know what? Bingo. I can't do it anymore.
Yeah.
Sad.
All right. So there was obviously some negative feedback from Ric Flair, who, I'm not going to say that what he said was outrageous. All right. This has happened before. It's happened quite a bit to individuals who have severe pain and severe issues. They do end up turning towards street drugs, But Ric Flair then tweeted out on November the 28th, there seems to be some controversy over my remarks that street drugs killed Hulk Hogan. I only was repeating what I know to be a fact through family members after 11 back surgeries, hip replacements, knee replacement, shoulder replacement, and 2 neck surgeries. I am sure the pain was unbearable. A doctor, as I know, can only prescribe so much pain medication under medical guidelines. I've been told that all they do is to help him, not to hurt him, to help him get through the night and the pain. Eventually, that catches up with you, as we know with everybody. He was my friend, a man I respected, and I'm only reporting what I've been told. Nothing more, nothing less. This was not meant to demean Hulk Hogan or his legacy. I have always referred to him as being one of the 2 biggest stars in the industry, himself and Steve Austin. I apologize if people misunderstood my statement, Hulkamania forever. Okay. Wow. This was tweeted by Ric Flair because every first word is capitalized in this, and there is no punctuation whatsoever. All right. So it's not out of the ordinary. This sort of stuff happens to wrestlers all the time. It's happened to football players. It's known to be happening to construction workers, people who have serious injuries or recurring injuries. They do sometimes. Pain medication will be underprescribed, meaning it's not meeting your pain threshold. But sometimes pain meds are overprescribed and people get addicted to it and they can get contact with it too much. That being said, I'm not going to get into an argument about pain. We know that people get addicted to pain medications due to excessive surgeries, and we know that these things can happen. But July the 31st, which was a week after Hulk Hogan passed away, it was announced via ABC News that he died of a heart attack, a myocardial infarction. And he had a history of atrial fibrillation and chronic lymphocytic leukemia, which is a cancer of the blood and bone marrow. And it says acute myocardial infarction is a result of the heart muscle not getting enough blood and is commonly caused by coronary artery disease. This doesn't sound like street drugs to me. It sounds like a 70-year-old man with several medical issues, and he had a heart attack. I mean, we know that the guy did drugs when he was younger. Obviously, guys like him and Warrior and Savage, these guys had done cocaine. They had done tons of steroids. We know that they weakened their heart We've been through this. I did those episodes of Autopsy, and each one you see that these guys had taken steroids, which of course enlarged their heart and impaired their heart's function. And then of course they've been taking street drugs like cocaine when they were younger, and maybe not eating too much red meat and stuff like that in their older age has caused clogging of the arteries. This kind of stuff can happen. I don't think we needed to jump to the conclusion that he was taking some kind of pain medication, but it's likely that he was using street drugs. That's entirely possible. We won't know because I don't think there was a toxicology report done. But the primary physician said that he had leukemia and he had an irregular heart rhythm, and that his cause of death was natural. So it wasn't an overdose. So that's the big situation here, is that Flair, even if he knew that Hulk Hogan was doing stuff that he shouldn't have been doing, it wasn't the cause of his death. Now, there is an article from the Tampa Bay Times that discusses Hulk Hogan being administered Narcan, which is a drug to reverse opioid overdose. At the time of his passing, that the paramedics, when they got to him, they gave him Narcan. Now, it says here, quote, this is from the Tampa Bay Times. What is the date on this? I don't see a date. Okay, July 31st, which has been a week after he passed. So it says, the paramedics administered drugs that could treat a high level of potassium, a sign of kidney failure, which can lead to cardiac arrest. They also gave him 2 milligrams of Narcan, a drug that can rapidly reverse opioid overdoses. The Narcan does not mean first responders strongly believed Hogan had overdosed, said Dr. Charlie Sand, a longtime emergency physician and director of Hillsborough Community College's Emergency Medical Training Program. So Dr. Sand says, quote, it could be just in case if there's no response to other treatments. If I broke my leg and was recovering from surgery and taking Vicodin, for instance, I'd want EMS to give me Narcan just in case. I want every chance to be brought back. All right. So that doesn't mean Hulk Hogan was taking Vicodin and had overdosed on it. This is the only evidence that we have that Hulk Hogan might have been doing something and he had no business doing. There's been a lot of conspiracy theories. Bubba the Love Sponge and Brooke Hogan both claiming that, I think Bubba the Love Sponge was one of these idiots that was talking about he had something was injected into his dialysis, and they were talking about various other people that were around, how suspicious those people were. Look, we don't need a conspiracy theory if we got something that is completely reasonable. All right. It's completely reasonable that a 70-year-old bodybuilder who had a history of using drugs, cocaine, and a history of using steroids, had a weakened heart, and he was fighting leukemia, and his heart just gave out. It's entirely possible that that's all that occurred. You don't need a magic bullet. You don't need anything else. That's it. The Narcan story is the closest thing we got to him. They think he was on drugs. Well, they tried everything they could try. That's really what it boils down to. And I don't see any need to go further than this. Ric Flair, God bless him, he's very distraught over losing his friend. I mean, it's getting to the point where he's constantly talking about other wrestlers that have passed away. It's a lot like Jake Roberts for a spell there, where you keep asking these older guys and all of their peers are dropping dead, and they're kind of thinking, am I next, or why not me? And there's a level of trauma that they have that is going unaddressed, because I'll never forget when Jake Roberts, I believe it was for his WWE documentary back in 2005, and he said when he heard that Kurt Hennig died, he was thinking, why not me? Take me instead. You're telling God, take me. Like, there's a level of trauma that these guys have when their peers are passing away, and these guys are 70 some odd years old, so obviously their peers are going to start dying out anyway. But there's a certain level of trauma and disbelief that's going to be there, that these guys always kick out, they always bounce back. But they're normal people. They're normal guys. They have the same heart and bone and body structure as the rest of us. And these things happen. He was an older man. He had a heart attack. That was it. Like, share, subscribe. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace out.